Here we are. Louis says it's good to see us smiling, and by God, it's good to be seen. We had a last-minute kerfuffle with the technological organization here, and we weren't sure whether we were going to be coming to you at all. So
we could have gone on just a cell phone.
Oh yeah, it's true. We could have thrown the old cell phone on the stand and done it like the old days. So the audio situation this week, we're using the microphone built into our primary camera here. So if it sounds wacky, just don't tell us. There's nothing we can do, and it would only make us feel bad. So
we're trying to keep trying to project, which is not one of my strengths.
Just grinning and kicking and carrying on. So we're glad that you were with us here on this fine Friday afternoon. I know down in our friends in the South, Georgia, Alabama, all those places, I believe the heat wave is finally broken for them. It's certainly not hot up here in beautiful New England. We are, however, at or near peak color here in New Hampshire.
Peak foliage.
I think Maine is already over the peak, but yeah, it's pretty out there. Mike Chris says we're sounding okay. Gordon Perslove saying it's not working in the UK. If only we had some control over pretty much anything. But I think we may hopefully have for you today what could turn out to be a decent show.
It will be.
Of course, Glenn Watt here, Nick Lanciano behind the producer's desk. Not sure if he'll be able to bring himself up. All of our saved settings, everything's gone. It's all gone, but it'll be fine. Nick's over there frantically mashing buttons to get things set back up while we happily vamp and talk to you. No vamping. It's all new show, folks. All new show.
It is an all new show. 108, as it turns out.
108. I think I have the wrong.
It's okay.
I have the wrong number in the. It's all good. Nobody knows what the heck's going on.
I changed it.
He changed it, but it's not changed on Facebook. Anyway, doesn't matter. It's all good. Burton says the screen keeps freezing. Hopefully that's due to Facebook shenanigans beyond our control. But who knows?
It's all gonna be all right.
All right. Well, while I say this next thing, you keep an eye on who we've got out there, because we're going to come back to the who we got out there today.
Nice.
All right, so something going on right now. If you've seen the Cigar Box Nation newsletter that went out earlier today, or the CBGs newsletter, compiled, written, created, perfected by Mr. GT Watt here next to me, you know that there is another sale going on cbgitty.com, electronics and related hardware. So that means all of the things that you use with electronics components. So pots are on sale, potentiometers, as are knobs. Pots, because knobs go with pots, right? Jacks are on sale, as are jack plates. See how this is working there? So preamps, piezo discs, all sorts of those electronics components that you use to electrify your cigar box guitar, all of the fixins are on sale 20% off through Monday at midnight. You use the coupon code ELECTRO19, ELECTRO19 during checkout, and you'll get that 20% discount off of any of those electronics and related electronics hardware items.
And especially for those who may be too quiet or meek out in the audience to ask, well, what is a pot, and what do I do with piezos that are on sale, and what do I do with capacitors that are on sale? Shane Spiel has been kindly posting on the Cigar Box Nation Facebook page various articles over the past 2 days that link you to the resources that explain how to use disc piezo pickups. Rod piezo, his favorite, the rod piezo pickups and the preamp combination.
On sale.
All of these things are on sale. Jacks, jack plates, you name it. So all the electronic goods, good stuff.
Yeah, buddy.
All right.
Going on through Monday. Also, I've got a little, actually, will we get to that now? Before we get to what I'm about to say, who we got out there, Glenn Watt?
I saw Aaron CBGs, man. It's good to see you. I don't don't oftentimes get to call out your name, so I'm glad to see you today. I think I saw Del Puckett chiming in saying that he's on time. Now, he was on time before the show got going, so I hope you're still out there, Mr. Gitty Gangster yourself, because it's good to see you, sir. And we also got Bruce Norton, Paul Lewis, Keith Rierick, Jonathan Lagasse.
Always love to see Keith out there because he likes to remind us every week that this is the best show on the internet, in his opinion. We appreciate that. He is very kind.
Sumasai, it's good to see you out there from the sunny coast, the best coast.
The mad fiddle builder.
Yes. More on that later, more fiddling around.
Oh, buddy.
You also got Tim Henderson, who's putting out some terrific videos. If you haven't seen Tim Henderson's videos, especially, I know he posts them elsewhere as well, but if you haven't been to the CBGs, Friends of Gitty Facebook group, and I hope that you have been, we've just crested 500 members who are all, most of which are active and kind, supportive, and sharing. Tim has been posting some of his videos, performance videos in there. I highly recommend checking those out. Louis LeMan is out there, Turtle Box Guitars. It's all good stuff. John Matrician's out there.
Our good friend John.
Nice.
Probably listening from work. He doesn't often get to watch, but he's there listening.
Ruth Mills says hello.
Oh, my Sunday school teacher.
That's very cool. Ms. Mills.
So, what I was about to say was, I've got another little, I'll be telling you a little bit later about a secret sale that's also going on. Just hush hush on some new shirt designs. As you can see, I'm wearing a sweatshirt with the Hard Times Make Great Music design. Glenn's wearing one of the exclusive Gitty Gangster designs.
I'll have you know, by the way, I know Ben's got an agenda here. You got to get moving in. I'm going to slow things down. Oftentimes I love all the t-shirts that we have. This one in particular, the style of t-shirt is just it's a different kind of weight cotton. It falls nicely. It feels good.
I'm out.
It's like a premium cotton t-shirt over there on hobofiddle.com. I like it. It wears nicely. So I hope that if you're a Gitty Gangster, if you're watching, you should get yourself one.
This is a Gildan soft style ring spun. Yeah, I did. I specifically picked one of the softer cotton. It might actually be a blend. Nope, 100% cotton. So yes, it's soft. The world just moved. Did your world move?
Tectonic plates shifting underneath New Hampshire.
You can get that same design on sweatshirts, hoodies, all sorts of good stuff. But what I'm going to be, I'm not getting into it yet. No. It's further down on the script. Slow down, Glenn.
I know. I didn't even know I was biting your game. Oh. Stomping on your game.
Heavens. I wish we had more videos to run this week. You might have, if you pay attention to the Friends of Gitty group or the CBGs page, then you already know that the Hobo Fiddle kits began shipping out this week. Tuesday, we sent out the first batch, finished them up on Wednesday. So if you pre-ordered a Hobo Fiddle kit, you should, unless you're overseas, you should probably have it either has already arrived or will be soon. This is an assembled version of the Hobo kit, the one I put together for photographing for the how-to guide. Always my favorite part of a new kit development. So built to pretty much the same model as my original. Same scale, wooden box, all sorts of good stuff. So it is, of course, not too late. If you didn't get a Hobo Fiddle kit during the pre-sale, well, now you can get one at any time. The pre-sale is over. They are now regularly available. Like all the other, just hundreds and hundreds. Like, I don't even know how many now. 1,400 products available on CBGitty.com.
Just a few.
Just a few. Well, now it's time for another installment of Fiddlin' with Gitty. So if you've got a fiddle, grab it. If you don't, well, we might be able to help with that too.
If you don't, there are plans on Cigar Box Nation. Should I just shut my mouth?
No, you're doing great. It's like you know what's about to happen.
I'm sorry.
We have a link. I don't know if Nick will get to link posting, but there are free plans for building, I believe, this exact style of cigar box fiddle. The same plans that I believe Jim Morris used. Our good buddy Jim Morris, Back Porch Banjos. Hey, there he is.
He's out.
I believe he got the plans for building this one from Cigar Box Nation. You can get the same plans and build yourself one. If you've been following along these past few weeks, you know I've been pretty focused, pretty directly focused on learning to play the fiddle. And of course, you know, we all have our own level of standards on such things. I set mine pretty high for myself. And I'm telling myself, if I can get to the point where I can make this cigar box fiddle sound pretty good, then maybe I'll take the step of buying I hate to use the term, but a conventional fiddle, let's say. I'm not going to use the four-letter word. It's one of my personal rules, but I might get a conventional fiddle. But fiddling with Gitty, Glenn and I have been working on a couple of new songs, new tunes. You can see he's holding the time clock guitar there, 6-string guitar. Started its life out as a conventional guitar, and as you can see, at some point something happened to it to make it rather non-conventional.
Didn't you write a blog about this or something?
I think there is a builder's diary on that one.
Yeah,
If there isn't, by God, there should be. I've got a folder full of should-be stuff, you know, builders' blogs, all sorts of things sitting in Google Drive that one of these days I need to do
Sorry,
something.
if you want to swap to the mics, we can do that now.
Swap to the mics!
Oh, or we can do it on a video or whatever.
Yeah, we should test that during the video. We got a good video for you coming up later from our good buddy Marty. We'll tell you more about that in a little bit. But for now, we've got two numbers to try out on you here. We'll do the Irish one first. Of course, you know I'm into Irish tunes and songs. This is one entitled "The Rights of Man." It's a hornpipe, so it's an instrumental tune. I believe at some point during the history of Ireland, this particular tune was banned by the British, who ruled Ireland for a long, long time, because The Rights of Man, a pamphlet by Thomas Paine, was pretty big in the whole independence revolutionary concepts, which the Irish tried many times before finally succeeding. But anyway, yes, it's in a minor key, and we're going to have a go at it here. Of man. Well, it's getting closer. You know, I first played this fiddle on the show, what, 3 weeks ago, and I can hear every mistake I'm making, of course. Every sour note, every flat, every sharp, every squeak, every squawk. And it is hard for me, for anybody, to put themselves out there and to do something, especially a performance in front of other people, whether they're in the room or not, when you know you're not where you want to be. But I've been forcing myself to do it. I've taken this fiddle along to the Irish session I go to on Sunday evenings in Dover, New Hampshire. And I play it there, even though I know I'm not sounding as good as I want to sound, even though I'm not sounding as good as I could sound on another instrument, like the mandolin or the tenor banjo or even the guitar. And I'm doing that, I'm continuing to play it, to practice and get better, but I'm playing it on the show each week so that those of you out there who might struggle with shyness or stage fright or confidence of like, I can't take my cigar box guitar or whatever and play it in front of people. I'm trying to show you through example that yes, it's hard. Yes, sometimes you can sound bad, but you got to do it anyway, And hopefully, in time, you'll notice yourself getting better. You'll notice fewer mistakes. The people listening to you, if you have the right sort of people, will encourage you and be supportive like you are and have been for me playing this fiddle. So I feel like by doing this publicly, such as it is, maybe, I feel like I'm slowly getting better. Hopefully can inspire or encourage those of you out there struggling with the same things to have a go at it. It's worth the effort.
And that's it. It does take personal effort and practice, as I know.
Even
Ben,
talking about it's hard.
And I think what Ben has cited this in the past, and I will do it again, and that is finding a group of people in person, if you can, that are supportive, such as the people that Ben jams with on Sunday nights at a particular establishment in a town over from here. There are things like the Michiganders Club up in Michigan, or Uncle Fred's Box Guitar Club meeting in North Carolina. There are places where people are very welcoming. There are other jam groups that are probably less so. One could cite possibly a group over a few towns over here in Portsmouth, New Hampshire, that's possibly less accepting. But there are groups that take people in of all levels and help just encourage.
If you can find a jam session that is supportive and welcoming of all skill levels, that's a big help. At least in the Irish session world, there are more closed sessions where there's a group of musicians who do their own thing and they don't really encourage or in some cases even allow outsiders to sit in. Fortunately, most do, but you got to find your own comfort level, your own group. Even if it's by yourself with the old hound dog out on the back porch, Somebody mentioned that on that last one I did that possibly for the first time their cat didn't leave the room while I was playing the fiddle. I count that as,
That's cool.
I count that as progress.
I see that Farley Viva Nova Zandris was out there saying that you sound great too.
Oh, yeah. Viva Nova.
I got caught up on the middle, but I'm good in the beginning and the end.
Well, if you can't say it, we're all in trouble.
All right, then.
All right, so just a little bit more in Fiddling with Gitty this week. Many of you have probably seen, at some point or another, the classic sketches from the Civil War era here in the United States. Sketches by a man named Edwin Forbes, who still to this day, his two sketches, this one, which is entitled Home Sweet Home, and another one entitled The Making of Cremona, are the first known visual depictions of musical instruments made from cigar boxes. He sketched these while traveling with the Union Army. I'm not sure which division, maybe the Army of the Potomac, I'm not sure. This one was sketched during the siege of Charleston, South Carolina in 1863. Possibly the other one, The Making of Cremona, was at that same time as well. Unfortunately, I haven't been able to find a high-res version of the other one. I pulled this one off of the Library of Congress's visual repository out. And by the way, as you can see, it's printed out nicely on an 18 by 12 inch piece of craft paper. Now available as a poster from CB Gitty for $7.50. I actually did some careful retouching of this original image because the original scan was pretty faded. I went over it very carefully to darken the lines, increase the contrast, to bring out the artist's original, can't really see it from there, but down here at the bottom where the artist, Edwin Forbes, wrote Home Sweet Home, and then over on this side he signed it. I darkened those down so they really stand up. So this is kind of a retouched version of the original in poster form that you can buy outright or get as a free gift, a free add-on for any order of $75 or more. You can get a free copy of that poster. So anyway, these sketches made in 1863, which to me, that's kind of my working date of the foundation of cigar box instruments. You know, if we find an earlier one where somebody made a sketch in 1859 or whatever, then that'll shift. But I consider 1863 kind of the established date. And I've started to use that, we'll get to this in a little bit, on some new t-shirt designs that I've been creating. That date is established 1863. So, this is all, it's all come back around, and we're going to play a song on the fiddle. I'm going to play on the fiddle, Glenn will strum, that ties all of this together, believe it or not. Bear with me. So, Edwin Forbes is with the Union Army. Around that time, a song came on the scene. It was set to an older tune. The original, the earlier song is entitled John Brown's Body, about the abolitionist John Brown. Julia Ward Howe wrote a poem that was set to that tune. This song, the Battle Hymn of the Republic, became very popular with people in the North, the Union supporters and the troops. This song became very popular with them. I like to think that one of maybe the first song that those soldiers played on their new handmade cigar box fiddles might have been the Battle Hymn of the Republic. So we're going to have a go at it here today on a cigar box fiddle, somewhat similar to the ones that they might have built for themselves. This is in the key of G. Ready? Glenn's going to set the tempo for me. That's fast. Bring it down there.
This guy.
Just a little bit of something there. So thank you. Thank all of you for listening, putting up with all of this. Just looking at the faces I make while playing. Very focused. I found, actually last week, I put a chin rest on this fiddle. I don't know if you can see it. When Jim built it, he didn't have one on there, and I found, especially when I was like nervous playing at the session, I'd get all clenched up, and I was pushing down on the floating tailpiece with my chin and just knocking it out of tune. Like, oh my God, why do I sound so bad? It's because I was clenched up too much.
It happens.
Just relax and play the darn thing.
Let it flow.
Let it flow, let it flow. Oh wait, no, that's something else.
It works.
Why don't we run the video? Marty Tauber, our good buddy, was good enough to send us a video that was taken this past weekend. Marty and Burton Philbrick, our good buddy Bert, Fat Knuckle Freddy, all went to a Luthiers Association meeting, convention, up in Hollowell, Maine, a town I've been to many a time. They set up, Marty had his booth set up. It looked like he had his whole pickup winding set up there, and Bert was there, and Fat Knuckle Freddy performed. So we took it was about 15, it was a fairly long movie, and kind of made a highlights reel, if you will. So here is Marty Tauber and the gang from and this wasn't a cigar box luthiers. This was like, guitar builders and such, like, the professionals. And they invited Marty and friends in to kind of have a look at where all of this came from. So here you go.
And the little thing bouncing up on top over here is the tensioner, so I have even tension on the wire at all times.
Check 1, 2.
That's some pretty cool stuff right there, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think it looks like we've got the audio bars are moving. We got our clip-on mics working. So hopefully, yeah, buddy. So that was some great stuff. Thank you, Marty, for sending that and for doing it. And
That's right.
Marty and Burton and Fat Knuckle Freddy and anyone else who is involved in that. That's good stuff. We love seeing it.
Yeah, it's good to see people from this community, handcrafted musical instrument people out there in public, you know,
Yeah,
showing the thing, showing the world.
And doing so at a conventional luthiers gathering. That's pretty cool.
That's a great point. Yeah, where people don't expect it. Surprise.
Nobody expects
Surprise.
this. All right, so we now have for you, everybody. Oh,
Do you want to fiddle this up? Because I haven't got anything on me.
Oh, it's going to be loud because the mic's right
Good.
here. So close.
That's
so
the
close,
stuff. That's
people.
the
So
stuff.
close.
That's the stuff. Welcome back to Watt Corner. It's good to see y'all. Just gonna jump right in. Now, first up, I'd like to say, actually, speaking
we
of
got
somebody,
graphics.
speaking of somebody who was up at the Luthier show with Martin Tauber and Fat Knuckle Freddy. This is Burton Philbrook, Bert's Blues Boxes. This is one of his recent builds. And why I'm so enamored with it, aside from it being very Halloween oriented, as you can see there, in the next image, what you'll see, or one of the things that you'll see, that Bert posted was that he has built a, because Fat Knuckle Freddy at Maine's first Cigar Box Guitar Festival, Fat Knuckle Freddy played he was the headliner, and he played a bunch of different cigar box guitars. One of them, at least one of them, had a low, the low string on it was a bass string, and that's what you can see Burton has built here. Now, I have not done that myself. I think that's really rad because it gives it, much like John Lowe, who created the Lobo many years ago, having that low bass string, it just gives a very distinct texture to the instrument. It gives an awesome sound. Again, I haven't tried it, but I know that it sounds great. Bert has this one tuned E, E, B, E. So it's a huge power chord, and you know it's got to rumble the house as soon as he starts cranking it up. So I think that's awesome. But moreover, what's really cool about this is that, by the way, Bert has called this the Bone Shaker, and for very good reason. Now, he wound that pickup that you see there underneath those 4 strings. Burton wound that pickup, and I believe that faceplate is, of course, bone. And also on this guitar are several bone pieces crafted by none other than the man, Randy Bretz. So, yes, sir. In the next image, what you'll see that Nick has for you is the headstock. I'll get to the bone pieces. The headstock, however, has, unfortunately, in this image, you can't see it great because Bert's got it turned a certain way, but that button, the button here on the tuner, that on the low string actually is a bass tuner. So he's got 1 bass tuner for the bass string, 3 black sealed gear half moon tuners from CBGs. Good job, Bert.
Yeah, buddy.
And yes, sir. And he's got that. Although he didn't use a CBGs headstock, he made a really cool headstock. It's a great headstock. I really do dig it. So that's good stuff. And this last image from the guitar, I'll move it along. I'm sorry. This last image, I just want to highlight some of Randy Brett's amazing carvings. Like he took bone. I don't know what kind of bone he uses, but cow bone. And he carved little his little skulls, and at each, not chromatically, but at certain fret locations, Bert installed these right into that walnut neck of his. And you can see a nice high gloss shine to it. He's probably got some polyurethane on that thing. I think it's a great build. It looks great, it's timely, it's seasonal, and I love the fact that there's a hand-built bone faceplate pickup on there, say it, don't spray it, and there's also some community pieces on there as well, again, from that Randy Brett. Just think it's great stuff. So great job, Brett, and thank you very much for sharing that with us. Up next, we have from Stephen W. It's a faraway image, don't worry about it, but I just want to show this real quick. That's the guitar in its total, but in the next image what you'll see is the body, a close-up of the body. Now, Stephen W. writes about this guitar. My dad carved and painted this piece of walnut that he book matched. I received it in the mail with the instructions to do something with this. A pre-wire, he put in some Gitty hardware like a snake oil humbucker. Now the Indy hardtail bridges, you know, each string gets its own bridge, so you can kind of stagger them for other applications. And it's tuned GDG with electric strings, but I just really love that his father took a nice piece of walnut and he hand carved it and painted it and then just shipped it out to his son and said, do something with this. And then Stephen made this awesome instrument. And I love that. You know I love the family thing, and I think this is a great example of that. So thank you very much, Stephen. I think you did a great job. Next up, we have from Rufus P., a relatively new member to the Cigar Box Guitar community. I'm giving you my virtual hug, sir. He's got himself here a wheelbarrow upright bass. or the beginnings of it. And there's Rufus, a man from Wales. It's good to see a man from Wales representing over there in the UK. In the next image, what you'll see, however, is a profile of said wheelbarrow upright bass. I like where he's going. It actually reminds me a lot of the wash tub upright bass that this guy that is off screen built maybe 2 years ago now, that we used to play on the show quite a bit before we moved on to other basses.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Wheelbarrow bass.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah, I do too. So I'm glad that Rufus is new to the community and he's sharing stuff like this, asking questions and whatnot. In this last image, you'll see something about Rufus that I admire because I don't do it myself. That's draw a plan, man. Have a plan before you go doing something, as opposed to me, where I go charging into battle blindly with both guns blazing and wondering why nothing goes right the way that I want it to. Rufus here has a plan, and I love that. And if you don't do that yourself, maybe you should try it. It seems to be working for other people. But thank you, Rufus. I think this is awesome. Next up, we've got from John K. I'm a big fan of this. In fact, I got to be honest with you. This is something I just noticed today. Where am I? I'm back and forth. This flag right behind me. This makes. I know we got nationalities being represented of all sorts in the Cigar Box guitar community, but I'm proud of mine. And this is a fine example of that. John K. writes, this is a box that he built. It's a personalized Chief Petty Officer box for their uniform apparel. He only bought from Gitty. This is clearly not an instrument. He only bought box corners from us, but shared these images with us because he's proud of it, and he wanted us to see what he's doing with his stuff that he bought from us. And I think this is awesome. In the next image, you'll see an open, the box open, which he built out of cedar. What else did he use? Cedar, cherry, and walnut, and finished it with tung oil. And it's just a gorgeous piece. And then on this last image that you'll see here is the back side of it, where he's got some carving on it. I'm sorry, I can't read it from here, and I've forgotten what it reads. Nick, can you read it?
Grown, U.S. made for USN Chiefs.
U.S. grown, U.S. made for USN Chiefs. Thank you, Nick. I love this box. I imagine John K. is not out there watching this show because I don't know that he's part of this community per se. But I love what he's built, and I'm proud to know that things that were bought from this company, for which I proudly work for, are used in such terrific pieces. So thank you, John K., wherever you are, man. I'm glad that you shared this with us. Next up, we have from Susan S. Bada bing. Now, this is something that she recently shared with us in the Friends of Gitty Facebook group. This is a rack for her instruments. And she writes, Sue S., actually.
Oh.
Yep, it's another Sue. She made a cigar box guitar rack with pine board and dowels. She carved the sides with a rotary tool, stained and varnished the sides, secured the ends of the dowels that you see running through either pine boards with wrought head nails, something I'm a huge fan of, something that we see a lot of up in this area of the country with these old buildings that we live in. Added slider feet to the bottom. She proudly says, and I don't blame her, it only cost her $30 in materials and then some elbow grease. And since she didn't want her babies she didn't want to part with her babies, she had to find a way to store them. And in this next image, you'll see that she's got it lined up with, I believe, about 10 axes, if you will, 10 giddies all lined up on that rack. And Sue, if you're out there, I'm really stoked that you're part of the Friends of Gitty group, and I'm proud of seeing the stuff that you do, and I think that's really cool. So thank you for being here. And let's see, next up we got from Rob, but we got Rob Roble. If you're still out there, Rob actually posted this picture. I stole it. Because this is like a Throwback Thursday. This isn't Thursday, but this is like a Throwback Thursday picture. This is, I believe, Rob's first cigar box guitar. And that is, somebody can correct me, I believe that is an Uncle Crow design. So he's got the neck on top of the box, and he's got the eye bolt tuners that are fashioned in that direction. I think that's pretty uniquely Uncle Crow. And so if any of you, you've got to, if any of you are familiar with what Rob Roble does, Rob's Cigar Box Guitars, some of the finest instruments that you will see made in this community. I highly recommend checking him out on Facebook. This, I believe, is his first one. It's been 4 years since. He's building some axes that I drool over, and this is his first one. And if you're proud of this, man, you should be, because I absolutely love it. Love seeing this. I'm glad that you posted it, and I don't mind stealing it for the show. So thanks, Rob, for being out there, man. I hope you still are, man. It's great to see you.
He's out there.
Hey, he's lulzing. All right. Next up, we got, this is actually
Speaking of throwback.
Right?
Wow.
Speaking of throwbacks, I got a couple of throwback pictures in here to end Watt Corner. This one is, I'll let you guess who it is. But I went on to cigarboxnation.com, and in the photos section, which is front and center on the front page, you will see right beneath the photo section, page 1, in like ... and the rest of the pages. Well, the rest of the pages, there's about 7,400 pages of images on cigarboxnation.com, and those pages are like 15 per page or whatever, 20 per page. So there's a ton of images on there. And I went back, what I did is I went back to the first page, so page 1, but it's actually 7,342 or whatever it is. And I kind of worked my way back, and it only took me a couple of pages before I found this one, this classic image of Shane Spiel many moons ago when he was photographed by Max Shores for the documentary called Songs in the Box?
Inside the Box.
Songs Inside the Box. It's been a long time since I've seen it. It's one of the, not the first, I don't know, but I think it's one of the first major documentaries, efforts at a documentary for cigar box guitars. And it's been, like I said, a long time since I've seen it, but Songs Inside the Box, if you can find it online, I highly recommend checking it out. You'll see a handsome man like that, like Shane Spiel up in there with the Century 21 sport jacket, which is really good stuff. But I think it's awesome. It's good to see Shane out there, and knowing that he's been out there for years, a stalwart and true representative of cigar box guitars. So awesome stuff. And last up, speaking of throwbacks, I forgot to bring it in. Is it in here?
Oh boy, I'll go get it.
Thank you. This is the first image ever posted on Cigar Box Nation by Ben Gitty Baker. It was posted, oh, did I write it down? It was posted on December 16th, 2008. So that's almost 11 years ago. We got the first cigar box. This was a work in progress. Again, the first cigar box guitar from Ben Gitty Baker. Oh, look, here's the axe. And this is actually the finished version of it. Oh, you're awesome. Thank you. Check this thing out. Again, this is a throwback. Going, like I said, like I just did a little scouring on the interwebs, on the Cigar Box Nation. So you can see here, again, the first 3-stringer. He's got a little copper here. Nice little handcrafted hardwood bridge.
That was also the first time I ever used the term or the name CB Gitty.
CB Gitty.
I kind of came up with that while building this cigar box guitar.
Yeah.
And I thought it was extremely clever name because, of course, C is cigar, B is box, and Gitty is slang for guitar. I've discovered over the years since that very few people get that reference, so it wasn't quite as clever. Like, is your last name Gitty?
Right,
like,
right.
Where did that come from? Oh, boy. Anyway.
But I think that's great stuff, going back into the vault, so to say. And just worthy of note, that image on December 16th, 2008, that was a Tuesday afternoon, and that image was posted at 3:18 p.m. If we're running on Greenwich Mean Time,
Oh, boy.
that might be during the workday.
I might have been at work.
Might have been at work.
Wow. Thanks for pointing that out, Glenn.
And here we are today. So that has been Walk Corner. Thanks for joining us for this one. Good stuff. What do you got next, Ben Baker?
If only I had a slide,
Oh.
I'd show you what I got next.
Yeah.
All the oh, jeez. He's throwing his bone around, people. And I'm not a very good cat. Oh, it's all going to crap
Sport.
now, folks.
Nice. Come on.
It was
That was a team effort right there.
Totally worth the effort. Well, thank you for all of that, Glenn. Yeah, it is cool to dig back into the archives there. That's interesting. December 18th, 2008. That couldn't have been long after Shane created the site. When I joined it, it had only been up for like a week. Shane had created it sometime there in December. For some reason, I thought it was January of 2009, but clearly not. That's how history just is a thing.
It is what you write.
Yes. All right. Well, I alluded earlier to some new T-shirt designs. Nick actually has up, or about to, there it is. Looks like I might be stretching them a little bit. Anyway, I have been working on some graphic design courses, T-shirt design. I've been going through some training, trying to get a little bit better at it. So this week, I have been, for the last 3 days, I've been creating a new design each day. And there's today's. It's up live on the screen there. You can see. That's funny. I should put a transparent background on that. Some new cigar box guitar designs. You can see this one has kind of like a vintage. It can fill the whole screen if you'd like, Nick, so they can see that design. I like this because it kind of has that vintage.
I like it.
scroll, I put the classic image of Shane's Macanudo cigar box guitar that's in the Cigar Box Nation logo behind it. This is lighter print for dark fabric. So you can see it says authentic cigar box guitars. It's got the cigar box image there. The next image, hopefully, is the reverse of that, the dark print for light fabrics. I always try to do the two different designs for these new shirts. So that's authentic cigar box guitars, and if you look closely, there's a little tag down there, and it says established EST 1863. And of course, that ties into what I was saying earlier about the first known images. I know you can barely see me up in the corner, but those first known images from the American Civil War of instruments made from cigar boxes, cigar box fiddles. There's one. There's the other.
Hey.
So that's why I'm using that 1863 date. It's kind of an approximation, but for me it works. So, authentic cigar box guitars. Now, the design I did prior to that, when I see it, I'll know if it was yesterday or the day before. The next shirt. There it is. Build, play, love. That evokes the slogan that I came up with, build what you play what you love, kind of condensed into those three pillars of good living: build, play, and love. CigarBoxNation.com. This one also uses the classic Macanudo imagery from the Cigar Box Nation logo, and it's weathered and pretty cool, so I'm fairly happy with that one. Available both light on dark and dark on light fabric designs. Now the third one, the one I did yesterday, I really like this one. That gold on the black, and it's also, you'll see the other version here in a minute, but handcrafted cigar box guitars. I plugged USA in there. I could put any country in there if you have.
INT''L.
International? That'd be smart, wouldn't it? Anyway, handcrafted cigar box guitars, also available. Now here's the extra special thing. I told you there was a bit of a secret. These three designs and all of the other cigar box guitar designs, I have created a discount coupon. They are available from hobofiddle.com. 5 people, this is a 5-use coupon code, so 5 people can get 20% off all of these cigar box guitar designs over at hobofiddle.com. Gun's gotta go.
Wait a minute.
So it can be used 5 times. So the first 5 get it, and then it's dead. The coupon code is Gitty Gang. There's the link. Nick posted the link that shows you just the cigar box guitar shirts with the newest at the top. So all of these new ones, unfortunately, they only go up to 3XL because this is the basic, kind of the economy level shirt. But they're all priced at $12.99, so 20% off of that is, it brings it down below $10, I think, for these brand new shirts.
$2.40 off, right?
Just over $10, like $10.50 or so, which is a hell of a good price, I think, for a brand new shirt design. So 5
Awesome
people, and I'm not posting it anywhere else. This is only being announced here during the Gitty Gang show, so it's for Gitty Gangsters only.
Gitty Gangsters.
Yeah, buddy. So yeah, new shirts. I got a bunch more designs to do. I'm excited about it. I like how they're looking. Yeah, buddy.
Yeah, buddy.
All sorts of good stuff over. And if there's one that you like for our friends who need larger sizes, if there's one you really like, I can make it available up to 5X. So just shoot a message to me or use the contact form there on hobofiddle.com. I'll make that happen. If you really want it on a sweatshirt or a hoodie, let me know. I'll do it. Whatever you want. Almost. Almost anything.
All right.
Well, I think that's about all we got for today. I was telling Glenn, I'm going to switch the mics back over to the condenser mics, house mics there, because, oh, you got some tidbits to read, some announcements and such?
I can wait till later.
There is no later.
There's no
This
later.
is it.
Well, I
Get
just
into
wanted,
it.
tomorrow is the 4th year anniversary meeting of CBG-minded Michiganders. It's at it's going on 1 to 5 on the Red Sky or at Red Sky stage in Petoskey, Michigan. This is a potluck style meeting. It's
Yeah,
the 4th
buddy.
year anniversary. They're having a potluck where they'll be displaying, playing, and sharing their instruments, of course. And and if you don't know already, it's a family-friendly group. So you can bring the all the kiddos and grandma. And everybody,
Grandma.
load everybody up and head out over to Petoskey, Michigan tomorrow. It's up here, if you're, let's see, right about there, I think, in Michigan, right on the bay. And then down the road we get the Chicago Fest and a couple others. But
November, yeah, coming right up.
Yeah.
Early November.
But
November 1st through 3rd.
Yeah, buddy. But tomorrow,
Tomorrow, if you're in Michigan.
if you're in Mitch.
Shaq Collins has asked, is hobofiddle.com shipping internationally? The answer is now yes. Don't know why I didn't have that enabled to begin with, but you can now place orders internationally. For some of the things, they will be printed and shipped from within the EU. This print-on-demand company has, I think it's in Estonia or one of the Eastern European countries there, but yeah, good stuff. So, the reason I put these, what I call the house mics on instead of our clip-ons, is because I told Glenn Watt, as a fun surprise, I'm going to try to play the Gitty Gang theme song outro on the fiddle. So, just as a reminder.
Should I plug in the bass?
Yeah. Should you?
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's right here.
But is it going to...
Is it going to work?
Oh, it'll work.
I don't
It'll
know.
work, folks. After how this show launched, everything's going to work perfectly. We even got monitors.
Yeah.
And we got... Can you hear the bass, folks? We sure can.
Can you hear
Yeah,
it?
boom, boom, boom. Get her done, etc.
I'm hoping you can hear it.
Yeah, they can. Yeah,
Alright.
look. Oh, I think they can really hear it.
Oh, too much. All right, I can turn it down.
Well, see, actually, I got to bring the monitors down because they'll get feedback loops and such. All right, so just a reminder: 20% off electronics and related hardware at cbgitty.com through Monday midnight. Use the coupon code ELECTRO19, ELECTRO19, to get 20% off quite a wide swath of products. We got a lot of electronics, all the pots and the jacks and the piezo discs and the piezo rods and the preamps and the capacitors and switches and some of the pre-wired stuff, some of the DIY kits, all sorts of good stuff there.
If you have your hands free while we're kind of bringing this show to an end, if you have your hands free, can you give a little like, just one, all of you, because I sat here like a silly goose while Ben and Nick frantically tried to get this show up and running,
Flailing.
and
Flailing
Nick
and
has done a
gnashing
great
of
job of just making the show run since it's gone on. This has been a seamless event because of Nick's producing from that corner as soon as this show had started. So if you don't mind, just give
There
a
he
little
is on screen.
bink, bink.
It was a rough start, folks. Not gonna lie.
So just give like a little ding ding if you don't, for me.
Ding, ding,
For
ding, ding,
Nick.
ding, ding,
And
ding. I'll give you a couple.
there you go.
Thank
Thank
you,
you.
boo.
Thank you.
Yeah,
He's done a
buddy.
great job, so I really appreciate that. He's made this possible.
All right, Glenn Watt gonna lead us off with the bass line. And I'm gonna try to. It's the Gitty Gang Show on Cigar
There you go.
Station TV.
Got a little Roy Acuff here.
It's the Gitty Gang Show on Cigar Box Nation TV. And we came to you live from CB Gitty. Waiting for it to come around. It's the Gitty Gang Show
Gitty Gang Show.
It's the Gitty Gang Show.
Gitty Gang Show.
It's the Gitty Gang Show.
It's a Gitty Gang Show.
It's the Gitty Gang Show.
Gitty Gang Show.
It's the Gitty Gang Show on Cigar Box Nation TV. Boy, that was something. Well, thanks, as always, for playing along with us, folks. We will hopefully see you once again next week.